Good morning, Canvas kids. We are starting today. The last lesson in our 7-week series is Trust a Must. I'm excited because we're going to get a very exciting lesson today, and we're going to wrap it all up and talk about the big picture, which is, usually my favorite thing to talk about. Before we get started, a couple of things. First, I want to let you know that on this absolutely beautiful Friday afternoon, my kids are outside. I am so excited that they're outside. They get to play in the sunshine, but it means that you'll probably hear them. So maybe if you listen in really carefully, you'll hear it. It's usually Jeremiah because he's the loudest child I've ever met. So you might hear them hollering out there. I wonder. I'm also wondering if you've already spotted Dudley. This will be our last week trying to find Dudley. It's our last week of the series, and then we'll start a new series next week, and there will be a new thing for you for next week. So try to find him, see if you can spot him, and then say, bye, Dudley, because we're going to start a new thing next week. All right, well, today is a day of Pentecost. Well, today's not. Sunday, when you're watching this, is the day of Pentecost. And it's a beautiful, amazing, awesome celebration. It has so many meanings and so many important things to do with our faith, with our belief in Christ. And today, when you watch the video, you're going to get a little tiny small picture of what makes today such an amazing remembrance. Before we get to that video, I'd like to worship with you. And so to wrap up all of our lessons that we've had in this 7-week series, we're going to hit on some songs we've already done and finish up with another song that just sends us into the next thing, remembering something so important about our Jesus. So the first one we're going to start with is Trust and Obey. This whole series we've been learning about the importance of first trusting God and then obeying Him. And we learned that we really can't obey Him if we don't trust Him. That our true obedience comes from a place of trusting God and knowing that we can do what He says to do because we know that He's a good God, that He loves us, that He's working out all things for us, and therefore it's okay to obey Him because He's going to get us to the next thing, and we're going to be safe, and we're going to be protected, and we're going to be cared for by our loving God. So let's sing Trust and Obey, and we're going to do our T and our O for our movements. Trust and obey. And remember, I like to go like this for there's no other way. Maybe you like to do that with me. Okay, let's start. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus, but to trust and obey. Let's sing it with our little voices and our little T and O. Okay? Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus, but to trust and obey. Good. Okay, let's keep that song locked away in our hearts because we want to remember that relationship, that we trust God, and because we trust Him, we will obey Him. And we learned about so many people who knew they could trust God, and then when they obeyed God, God had something so special for them. Okay, the next song we're going to sing is Beautiful, Beautiful. And we are going to do our movements. Remember, beautiful and Jesus. We have making. Let's see, life. What else do we have in there? We'll figure it out as we go, just to review the movements. But I want to remember this one in our unit, because it's important for us to remember that Jesus is the one who is making all things beautiful, that He is intentionally carrying us through things. Sometimes they're hard things. Sometimes they're uncomfortable things, but He's with us in them, and He makes them into beautiful things. Things that we wouldn't understand, things that we wouldn't have if we didn't walk through those experiences with Jesus. And we saw so many people in our lessons, didn't we, who had to face sometimes scary things like lions, or very sad things like loss of family members, or sending your little baby down a river. And we met all these various people who stuck with God, and then God turned those difficult, sad, uncomfortable things into beautiful things. All right, so let's remember those people as we're singing, and also look into our own lives. How is Jesus making something beautiful in our own lives? Let's sing together. Beautiful, beautiful, Jesus is beautiful, and Jesus makes beautiful things of my life, carefully touching me, causing my eyes to see that Jesus makes beautiful things of my life. We love that one, don't we? Keep on singing that song. And when you are feeling maybe frustrated or nervous or uncomfortable in something, and that song comes rushing to your thoughts, you can remember that Jesus is with you and he is making it beautiful. We don't see it yet. And that reminds me of the last song we're going to sing together. We have sung this before, but not since we've been in our virtual church. I wonder if you remember the song In His Time. Now the lyrics of this song say, in his time, he makes all things beautiful in his time. And then this one part I want to really put our hearts into when we sing it. Lord, please show me every day as you're teaching me your way that you do just what you say in your time. I want to remember, just as we learned in Abraham's story, God is a promise keeper. And if he promises something, he will do it, even if it takes longer than we think it should, or it happens differently from what we expect. He will do it. And that line there, that you do just what you say in your time, is a great reminder to us. So if you are forgetting this song because it's been a while, it's okay. Listen to me sing it, and then you'll remember pretty quickly. In his time, he makes all things beautiful. In his time, Lord, please show me every day as you're teaching me your way, that you do just what you say in your time. Let's sing it again together. In his time, he makes all things beautiful. In his time, Lord, please show me every day as you're teaching me your way, that you do just what you say in your time. Kiddos, I hope that you will hold on to that song and bury it way down deep in your heart so it gets roots and it grows into your heart as something to always remember, that God is working it out, that all things that he handles are beautiful things. And if we just let him do it in his time, we will have great blessing, we will live in peace, and we will see God glorified. I'm glad that I could worship with you this morning and sing some songs that are very meaningful to my walk with Jesus, and I hope they become meaningful to yours. All right, as I said, today is the day of Pentecost, and we are celebrating a couple of things. We're celebrating harvest, because that's what the day of Pentecost was really about. It marked the beginning of the wheat harvest for the Israelites, the Jews, whatever they became as time went by. They would celebrate this big day because everybody was getting ready to go out in their fields and gather all the wheat that had been growing. And that was kind of like a giant payday. Do you ever do something special and fun when you have payday? Like maybe dad gets paid and you all go out for dinner, or you get to go buy new shoes, or something really fun happens because you were waiting on a paycheck to come in and it came and it was like, yoo-hoo, it's payday. We get to go go do something. Well, wheat harvest, the beginning of it, was like the beginning of a giant payday. That wheat became their food. It became something they could sell. And so that was a big celebration for them. This was how God used the wheat to bless their lives and give them abundance. And so that was a big celebration. But then on this particular day of Pentecost that we're talking about today, something that Jesus had promised came true. Okay? And the video that you're going to watch is going to explain it. And then we're going to come back and talk about that, what it meant then and what it means now. So go watch your video, learn about the promise that Jesus made and then how it came true. And we'll talk more about it in a minute. See you then.